All right, so we've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, right? One of them has been Jay Shetty. And he talked about in one of them the 4 most important choices that we make in our life.
Okay.
The first is who we choose to give love to and who we choose to receive love from. The second one is how we view ourselves. What do we think about ourselves? How do we view ourselves? Third one is what we choose to do for money. And the last one that he says is how do we choose to serve the world? So how do we choose to give back? So I want to talk about those.
Let's do it.
So the first one, who you choose to receive love from and give love to.
I feel like first of all, I love Jay, but he's so powerful with the way he poses these questions and puts things together. This one to me is like ultimate, like the most important decision you're making in your life, which obviously we've talked about before. Like, yeah, this makes sense because we're spending every day together. We're spending almost every minute of our day together, right? We're doing everything in life together. We're traveling together. We're building business together. Like, you are my rock. We're our support system, right? So that naturally is the most important thing because you also from that too, something I realize is sometimes I drain your energy, but you always give me energy, right?
Yeah.
Like you always like lift me up. Like those are not small things, but such important things, right? Or the things that we do together, like we host people, like we do everything in tandem.
Right.
Like I just, you know what I mean? Like that, I can't do that with anyone else.
Yeah. I think it's just at the end of the day, it's picking the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with is, I think, the most important decision that you can make, right? Like you said, we're spending every minute, it's a building block. It's the rest of your life. It's not just the next 5-10 years. You're going into a marriage for the rest of your life, right? And it's like you said about energy, I always view it like as a cup, right? Like you want to find that person who's going to fill your cup, not empty your cup.
Agreed.
And you want to both pour in equal amounts. Some days it might be me that's pouring a little bit more. Sometimes it might be you. But at the end of the day, the common goal is to bring out the best in each other, right? And that's the most important thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was profound how you said that.
Should we go into the next thing?
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay, so how you view yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's key.
This is very key. I mean, like how you view yourself is everything, right? Like when you wake up in the morning, what do you see in the mirror? When you're brushing your teeth, when you're showering, when you're shaving, what are you seeing? What are you viewing? What are you thinking? I feel like this is where like, self-affirmations come in, positive thoughts, positive thinking, like so many different things that we can talk about here. But I feel like if you're not viewing yourself in that light, in that positivity, and that happiness, like, you're just going, there's nothing you can do from there.
Something comes to mind where it's like you see a lot of videos of like parents trying to teach affirmations to their kids, right? They make them look in the mirror and say, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm kind, I'm confident.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see it too much where adults are doing it to themselves.
Agreed.
Right? So it's like, that's beautiful that you're teaching it to your children so that they grow up strong, confident, and kind. But you have to give yourself that reminder at the end of the day there as well. And I feel like that's so important. You can't get anywhere in life without that.
I always think it's funny that as adults, and I'm not perfect, I'm guilty of this too in my past, is like trying to give knowledge or teach something to someone else or people watching or listening when you don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what you just said. Like, I totally agree that self-affirmations should be done from adults because I actually think we're the most broken, right?
Yeah.
Because of socials and because of things happening in the world and going around, information overload, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
Like, we need that, I feel like, more than ever.
I feel like that mentality goes in, then you apply it into anything, right? Into relationships, let's say into sports, right? Like if you believe that you're the worst tennis player of all time, you are going to be the worst tennis player of all time. If you believe that you cannot win this game, you won't win this game. It all starts in here.
Yeah.
So if you like don't envision it and see that end goal, regardless of what it is, you're not going to get it if you don't believe it.
Totally agree. It's all mental.
Right? Okay. The next thing that he said was what we choose to do for money.
Yes.
So
you know why I'm taking this one. Like I kept saying they're all so important. They are all important. That's why you picked these 4 that are so powerful. But this is everything, right? And I mean, I feel like I'm hopefully walking proof of that. Of like every day. I mean, the other days you're stressed and tired and stuff, but like every day I wake up more and more passionate and more motivated and excited to build something and do the ventures that we currently have. Because every day I know, first of all, if I don't get up and do it, no one else will. But secondly, it's so exciting and fun to have those opportunities to do that. And I feel like on the flip side, we know people, I've seen people where they get drained or they get sucked into that 9-to-5 life or just a job they don't like. And it sucks because I feel like for some people, they feel like they're stuck. Like they don't know how to get out. They don't know like if they can do this for the rest of their lives, but they'll do it for the next 20 years. Because for them, I think it goes back to the mental side. They feel like that's it. That's their end all be all. They can't do any better. And I feel like if you're watching this and you're stuck in that situation, don't think that, because there's always better opportunities ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like at the end of the day, it's what, I don't want to say your purpose, because there's so many purposes in life, but like that environment, let's say if it's an office job, like you're going to be in that environment for what, 8-10 hours a day. You're going to be with those people for 8-10 hours a day, every single day. You want to make sure that you're doing what you love and that you're happy. And it's cliche, but they always say like, it's not a job if you're having fun with it, right? Like you should be having fun with it.
Seriously.
You should be inspired by it the same way as like point number 1. You should be inspired by who you're giving your love to and receiving love from. Right? So it should still be filling up your cup at the end of the day.
I totally agree with that. I just want to say one thing. If you feel like you're stuck in that situation, I feel like we live in a beautiful day and age where you can now go learn anything for free on the internet. You can become anything you want to be on the internet, and they're all positive things. Like you can go become an entrepreneur tomorrow in like a million ways. So if you feel like you're stuck in that situation, like sometimes I think you just need to look inside and understand that, okay, I can better myself. I can be better than this. Let's go find that solution, as opposed to like running that hamster wheel.
It's crazy how it ties into what we just talked about though, like what you believe and how you view yourself, right? Like if you think that, oh, I'm stuck in this cycle, you're going to be stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
But if you actually want to make that change, you can make that change.
Totally agree.
If you really want to, right? And have the resources. Okay. The next thing was, I think it's like a higher purpose, and the highest choice is how do we choose to serve and give back to the world?
Yeah. That one's actually really powerful. This is something I feel like, man, this is a good one. And I feel like, is this, when he said this, because I know you listen to the whole podcast, is this like charity work? Is this like smaller things? Is this just like taking a step back and, you know, looking at the world? Like what did he give examples of what this was?
It could be anything, but I feel like it could be as simple as like kindness, right? Like you're just kind to anyone you meet. If someone you see is having a bad day, you open the door for them. Like it just could be as simple as that, or it could be as high as like, you know, giving back and charity work and donating, things like that, or giving your time. But I feel like it can start as small as kindness.
I do. You know, that I'm happy you said that, because I was going to ask you like, what is the simplest way to start? And like you just said, it's kindness, right? Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes you hear, like I heard that question, I'm like, oh man, like I don't know, like is that charity work? Is that spending money? Is that giving $1,000 to this charity? But like you said, like, and this is something we try to do often, is like hold a door open for someone, or like help someone, you know what I mean? Just do something simple. Yeah. That it's a random act of kindness. Did you ever have a random act of kindness growing up in your elementary?
Yeah.
That made me think of that.
Right.
You'd get a heart, you'd write on it, Nav did this today, or like I helped you cross the road today.
Or like the passive forward, where like you're in a drive-through and you buy a drink and buy
That's
it
a
for
great
the person
one
behind you, and then you pass up. It could be as small as that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this ginormous gesture.
I like that, and the reason I'm a big believer in it is because I feel like I've seen it before happen, but it's like a domino effect. Like the pass it on thing, like obviously not everyone's gonna do that, but I've seen it be like 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, right? Where people are like, yeah, I'm gonna keep passing this back because I felt good about that person helping me out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that small thing may not affect the whole world, but like that, those are small ways to add up to bigger things in the future.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like there's not just one choice that he talks about that's more important than the other. I feel like they're all a puzzle piece that all come in different facets of life to complete you as a whole. So what I want to know to our audience is, do you guys think that there is one that's more important than the other, or how do you guys feel about these 4 choices as well?